Right?
Here we go. We're live. Check it out. Facebook. It's Michael Hellickson here. And I'm super excited. I've got Mr. Kevin Markarian. I should say Kevin the Man Markarian. And so I'm super stoked. We're actually getting ready for Listing Agent Boot Camp. We're talking today about team building. And look at that. We already got a bunch of people logging in live on Facebook. Dana Faircloth just joined us. What's up, Dana? How are you? Freaking love Dana. She's awesome. Super cool. Anyway, that being said, we are talking today about growth and team building. And before we do, I want to just kind of brag a little bit about Kevin. So for those of you that don't already know Kevin, Kevin's a baller. He's in the Bay Area and does, I want to say last year you guys did about 3.5 million or 3.75 million in GCI. Is that right?
A little more in there, close to that.
It must be rough on the 6 houses you sold there in the Bay Area. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally joking. I tease you because, like, for the rest of us in the normal world, our sales prices aren't, $6 billion a house like you guys down there in the Bay Area. But I love it. Andy Kantz is on watching. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how your team is structured, how your brokerage is structured, and kind of a little bit about you.
Sure. So Kevin Markarian, I have a company called Marker Real Estate in San Francisco. We started about 2014. I've been in the industry since 2002. Started getting into online leads like 2008, started playing around with Zillow and some of the portal sites, and then built a team, and 2014 launched Marker Real Estate. And so we have 2 offices in San Francisco. We just opened an office in Newport Beach. And the way we're structured is we're kind of a team. We're also a brokerage, and there's like a new phrase out there, and I don't know who came up with it, but I like to call ourselves more of like a teamerage. So we kind of operate as a team / brokerage, and so we do a lot with leads. We do a lot with with working together as a team, collaborating, sharing ideas, and really just working together. And it's been a great ride, like you said. I mean, we've had a great couple of last few years. A lot of what we do is lead generation, leveraging technology. I mean, it's a lot of just working as a team, working together, and trying to convert at a high level and utilizing all the tools that we have at our disposal.
I love it. And I love that term, teamerage. Teamerage. So what is a teamerage? So I want you to kind of walk us through a little bit about your structure. I'm tagging some of your buddies in here right now. I got, Tristan and Barry and some of those guys too.
Guys.
We're on. But tell us a little bit about how your teamerage is structured. And yes, Tori, teamerage is brokerage and team combined. I love it.
So the way it's structured is basically I started as an individual agent, started generating a ton of leads, and then built a team. And then so that team turned into my brokerage. And we ended up starting a brokerage, and the people that were on my team became part of the people who were part of the people that are in the brokerage. And we operate as a team. So we all work off the same CRM, number one. So we're generating leads, and then we all have the same CRM. And we're assigning leads to agents on the team or / brokerage, and those agents are out there working the leads, and they're closing transactions. And one of the things that we, when I first started the team in the brokerage, I mean, I thought about what are some of the things that I'm lacking right now at the company that I'm at. And I was working at a large independent company in San Francisco, and I felt like there was, in terms of branding and those types of things, that was there, but what was missing was deals, like delivering transactions, providing me with opportunities to close more business. And I think in the past, those opportunities were there with your traditional brick and mortar model with like walk-ins, right? People would have floor time, you'd sit there, wait for people to call in. And frankly, I think that model was great back in like 1989, where now, I mean, things have changed. I mean, there's so many, like, real estate professionals are no longer the gatekeepers of information, right? So
sadly, right? I mean, that's a big change in our industry. That's, people keep talking about the threat of Zillow and blah, 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 and we can go into that later. But the reality is, you're right. We don't control the data anymore.
Right. So we need to put ourselves in a position where we can provide value, number one, value to people that are out there that have access to the information, and then and really just be where the audience is spending most of their time, like the clients, the customers, where our clients and people interested in real estate spending most of their time, Michael? They're spending most of their time on social media. They're spending their time online. So in terms of a traditional brick and mortar, I don't know how many people get up in the morning and say, hey, Jane, let's go walk down to the local real estate office and find out, what's available for sale. Let's go ask Michael, the local realtor. That just doesn't happen anymore, right? So we position ourselves to be in front of the audience where the audience is spending most of their time. And that's how we're able to generate, a huge amount of business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. And so, all right, so you're right now, by the way, shout out. We got Barry Jenkins, Coach Barry Jenkins, Bill Fleming, Sunit Agarwal, Coach Sunit Agarwal. They're all watching you right now. So shout out to the boys there, and welcome, guys. And anyway, long story short, so essentially what you're saying is you have brokerage agents that, people that are in your brokerage. You put them all in the same CRM. So you're doing a lot of online lead generation for them and all this kind of stuff. So you're providing them with all these different tools. And yet they are, I guess the big question I have, are they held to the same type of accountability standards that traditional teams are held to? So do you have a daily huddle? Do you have weekly call nights, weekly team meetings, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of accountability systems in place. So we use our CRM to track follow-up, to track production. In terms of meetings, we do trainings every single day. So every single day, there's somebody that's providing some sort of value. So, like in terms of a daily huddle, you're gonna kill me on this, but in terms of a daily huddle, it's in terms of what we do. It's more.
I'm waiting for it. I'm like, am I really gonna kill him? I'm like.
So we do have a meeting every single day.
Okay.
It is a huddle. It's somebody that's providing some sort of training. So on Mondays we have a coaching call. On Tuesdays we have a transaction coordinator that's talking about a specific topic. On Wednesdays we have a lender. On Thursdays we have credit repair or a title person. On Fridays we have an industry leader. Like we've had like Barry Jenkins on. You've come on. We've had Sunit on. We've had people that come on and talk about their success stories, what's working for them. So every day there is some sort of a gathering where people get together on the team and they're learning something and they're getting together and they're getting fired up and they're out there and they're going. And I think that's kind of, your thought with the daily huddle, right? I mean, it's like your team gets together, you talk about, what's important, what's working, what isn't working, and then get out there and go do some deals and get motivated. So it's not exactly like to the T, but it's something where they're getting some value every single day.
So first of all, I love that they're getting value every day. That's huge, right? I'm not going to kill you for that. I'm not going to give you too hard time about that. I'm really glad to see that's happening. The question that I do have, and I'm curious about, is there accountability as part of that daily value you're bringing them? So in other words, on a daily basis, is somebody asking them, how many calls did you make yesterday? How many contacts? How many appointments? Those daily accountability type things that we all know are very important.
So what we do is we have our inside sales team. So we have an inside sales team that's assigning leads to agents on our team. And essentially they're the ones that are responsible for every lead that gets assigned. The ISA that assigns that lead is responsible for tracking and making sure that people are following up. So absolutely, which we're looking at it in the CRM. Okay. So we can see if somebody doesn't take any kind of action within the CRM, then that's kind of a hand-raising opportunity. It's something for the ISA to reach out to those agents and say, hey, what happened? What's the story with this particular person? Then on Fridays, every Friday, we get together and we talk about all the leads that were assigned, who's following up, and we find out what the status is with every single.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is
different style.
Right. Okay, I hear what you're saying. So, permission to coach for a second?
Go for it. Always.
Here's what I mean, I love what you're doing, because it sounds like what you're doing is you're giving the daily value. Two, you've got the ISA tracking their results, how many calls they're making, whether or not they're following up the clients, all that kind of stuff. And on Fridays, the ISA is holding them accountable in a public forum, right, where they're all on there at the same time, which is really important, right? Because they have to have that time where they say, I had a goose egg, or whatever, where they underperformed and they saw somebody else really highly performed, and so now there's this, I want to be like Kevin or whoever the person is that did the really good job, right?
And having a scoreboard is super important. right?
Yes. And so tell me about the scoreboard. Is that publicly viewable all the time? They all see each other's scoreboard?
We have a Slack account. So we're using Slack. And so we have these fun contests that we do. So I'll give you an example. We had a goal, a quarterly goal to reach a certain number. And if everyone, and we're actually going through it right now. And if anyone who contributes with a transaction has an opportunity to basically go to a trip to Cabo for free, covered. Like we have a fun time, and it's kind of a team thing. So
anybody that does a certain amount of production gets to go?
Exactly. So there's a minimum requirement to be eligible.
What is that minimum? I'm curious.
$5 million, $2.5 million.
$2.5 million in volume.
In volume.
Okay.
So $2.5 million in volume, and then it's $25 million for the quarter. So $25 million in the quarter as a team, and you've got at least $2.5 million in volume. You're now eligible. The top the top person in volume gets to go for sure. The top person in units sold gets to go for sure. And then 3 other people that have reached that minimum go into a drawing, Michael Hellickson style. And
I love it.
And get selected, and if they get chosen, then they get to go. So
love it.
And so the numbers are like shown publicly in a public forum, so everybody can see what the numbers are. So it's kind of like, here's everyone's numbers for the contest, but really here's everyone's numbers for what they're doing. So it's almost like it's a good way to get people to see what others are doing, while at the same time like cheering for each other, because we want those numbers to be higher so that everybody can reach the goal and then end up going to getting the prize, if you will.
Love it. Yeah, so, no, that's huge.
Yeah, so it's a good way, and we're using Slack in a way that is like it's super collaborative. People are cheering for each other. We're high-fiving each other, and people are doing deals. It's really a like a supportive environment. So which is really important, I think.
I love that. So Michelle, by the way, has a couple, and by the way, I love the gamification of it, right? The whole trip to Cabo or wherever you're going. I mean, I love that part, because it gives them something to strive for. It gets them excited. And when they don't win, they get to see all the freaking Facebook posts of the freaking winner, right? And all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, that looks like such a fun trip. I'm winning it this year. I'm going to make that this year.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's fantastic. Sandy Seitz has a question. I'm going to do Michelle's first because she asked it first. Are you doing your training on Zoom, or how are you doing your daily?
Yes, we do a daily training on Zoom every day.
Okay, perfect.
And the trainings are only like 5 to 15 minutes. Not super long at all, super short.
What's your engagement rate?
It's actually pretty good. Like, I don't know what percentage, probably like 40%.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's hard to get 100% engagement every single day. So you have certain people that come on, different people that come on for specific topics that they're interested in learning. So like if someone's, so every day it's almost like a different panel at a listing agent boot camp event, right? So every day we have a different kind of panelist that's going to talk about one topic, and we have a subject and they go on. And then Fridays are the days where we bring big producers, super successful people within the industry, like Coach Hellickson, like Coach Jenkins, like Sunit, so like these really super ultra successful people, and we do like a 30-minute Zoom call, and it's like an interview. So it's really good. I mean, it's great. It's a great way to get people to engage. And frankly, I mean, I feel like meetings, meetings are important. Face-to-face meetings are important, but we're so busy, to get up every day and drive an hour through traffic in the Bay Area or Southern California to sit in a 30-minute meeting, then drive back. I mean, that's a lot of time that's spent for like a short period of information, where we can utilize technology like we're doing right now. You're somewhere else in the country. I'm on the West Coast, and we're having this conversation. So utilizing technology, utilizing Zoom has been a really big, tool for us. It's worked really well.
Yep. That's huge. All right. So let's back up, and I love Zoom as well. But what I want to know is, are you recording the sessions? This is a question from Michelle Berkowitz. Are you recording the sessions so they can watch them later, or are you not recording them so you get better engagement?
We're recording them. So,
you are recording them. Okay.
Yeah, we're recording them, and then we're also redistributing them. So, we're sending them out to our team. We're sending them out also to people within the real estate community, other agents within the community that we think would be a good fit on our team. We're sending them information that they might find valuable. So it's a great way to create content as well. So we take that information. You can go to a site like Fiverr. You can have all that. You can have that entire video transcribed kind of into a blog post, and then you can create a blog out of it. You can chop up the video and you can take bits and pieces and post it on Facebook. So it's an easy way to create content. And so we use the videos to create content.
The reason I asked this is because we tried that, right? So years ago, we did, all of our webinars that we did with our coaching clients, we did as a recorded webinar. And what we found was that if we recorded it and gave it to them later, two things happened. Number one, they didn't show up on the calls, right? Because they figured our engagement rate went from 75, 80% down to like 30, 40%, and maybe as high as 45%. But what was really sad was they would say, "Oh, I'm just going to watch it later," and guess what? They would never watch it later, right? They'd never engage in the content. So what we did was we changed it and we said, "Okay, fine, we're not going to record that stuff anymore." And now currently we don't record it for that very reason, because we tell them, we say, "Look, you don't show up, you miss it." Right? And so guess what they do? They show up. Now we do other content, like to your point, that we share out and that we make public and all that stuff. And we do, I'm to your point, I'm a believer that, you want to give out great content to the agents in your local area so that they're attracted to becoming a part of your team or your brokerage. That being said, the very, very best stuff, hey, that's on the private webinars that are not recorded for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. So I agree with you. I think you'll definitely have more engagement if there's it's the urgency, it's the scarcity.
Well, and exactly. That's exactly right. Right. It's FOMO, right? They end up with fear of missing out. The big challenge is that what I want, what I'm asking for myself is, what's most important to me in that moment? Is it most important to me that I have content to share with everybody else so that I can potentially recruit more folks? Or is it most important to me that the people I currently have are engaging with the content for the purpose of getting better and doing more transactions? That's where the money, the money comes. Right. Yeah, that's where the rubber really hits the road. So, all right. So another great question from Sandy Stites, and freaking shout out to Sandy and David Stites down there in Marietta. David and Sandy.
Yeah, it was great to meet David.
Freaking love those guys.
Yeah.
And of course, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, Kevin will be one of our speakers at Listing Agent Bootcamp, as will David Stites. He's actually speaking there as well. But that being said, Sandy's question is, are you paying for a Slack, or do you still have just the free version?
I just have the free version. If
Awesome.
if they ever charge me for it, I would switch to something else, like a Facebook group or something. I don't need to pay for it. I mean, there's plenty of free software out there. There's a new platform that we've been using called Marco Polo. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah, Bernier keeps hitting me up on Marco Polo, and I'm like, bro, it just feels weird. Ever since I watched Wild Hogs, I'm not interested in Marco Polo.
Yeah, it's a different way to communicate. It's basically just video chat. So it's we started playing around with it, and we'll see how it goes. But it's just another platform.
It's a great one, and I agree. I'm just teasing, just because I don't know if you've seen the movie Wild Hogs, but there's a scene in there where these guys are playing Marco Polo, and it's a little bit like
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually. You should watch it. It's hilarious. For those of you that haven't seen the movie Wild Hogs yet, go watch it. It's freaking hilarious. It's a great movie. Cool. So Amy Izzo asked, and this is a great question. Coach Amy, shout out to Coach Amy. Freaking love you, Amy. You are amazing. And just to watch the growth that you've had here in the last year has been just amazing. But anyway, she asked, what are some good contests, incentives to give your team when you are a new or small team? Great question.
So one of the things that I like to do, what I did really early on, it's just fun, is do a lot of quizzes. So we'll use Slack. So we're all, first of all, on the same channel where everyone has access, and our engagement on Slack is really, really high. So people are talking all day. They're sending messages out. Like we had, somebody who had 3 listings today that they posted, so talking about different things. So having a place where everyone is centrally located very easily with an app is really important. And then when we do these trainings, right after the training, do a quiz and then say hey, $5 gift card to the first person that gets the correct answer. So those are fun things, and people get excited. The other things that we do is for out of like just random one weekend, hey, the next person that put a deal in contract, boom, gets X, or the next 3 transactions, the person gets this. So playing around and getting the team involved is always a good way to get some engagement. In terms of other contests, so of course, like I like personally doing more like group contests, like more collaborative. So like,
now, what do you mean by that? So you mean that where more than one person wins the prize, or just where you're competing against everybody as a group?
Where everyone has a goal to achieve as a team.
As a team, and then the whole team wins the prize.
Or at least a percentage of the team wins the prize, or has an opportunity to win a prize. So one of the things that we've done in the past is, and we actually, maybe not for this event, but for the next Club Wealth event, we've done a contest. We do a contest. So like if everybody hits a certain number, and say in terms of volume, they all get to go to the event. Like we'll cover the cost of the event. And then when we go to the event, everyone goes to the event, everyone learns, and then we'll do another fun like quiz off of information that was learned at the event. So we'll have someone at the event taking creating some content for a quiz or for like a test situation, and then we provide the people that attended the event with the questions, and then they answer, and then we have another, like we'll go to dinner and we'll have like a quiz kind of thing. So that's always good to, I think, in terms of like if you're doing contests and things like that, to me, I think having it more of a collective group kind of win opportunity is to me better than just having like one top dog wins it all kind of thing and everyone else is pissed off. I mean, that's my thought.
Because it's always the same person that's winning it all the time. Right?
That's true.
So it's like, no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to be her, and so I'm never going to win. And say, I get that. That's a good point.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we do in terms of contests.
And by the way, shout out to Mike Cuevas, who just joined us and is watching. We've got Nancy Drake, Dave Woodson, George Oberstdorfer. I always pronounce your name wrong. I'm sorry, George.
What up, Mike?
Oberstdorfer. I got it right that time, I think, sort of. Anyway, that being said, good to see you guys on here. And the questions have been fantastic. So you guys, if you haven't signed up already for Listing Agent Bootcamp, make sure you get signed up. We are literally officially down to 3 tickets. We actually sold out. We didn't even tell anybody we sold out, because what we did was we went right back to the AV company, because they're the ones that do the seating chart and all this stuff. We went back to them and we're like, dude, we got to do something about the seating chart, because we got to get 50 more people in there. So we went back, we fixed the seating chart so that we could get 50 more people in the event. And we sold we sold 47 out of those 50 out now. We got 3 tickets left. So if you haven't signed up yet already, get signed up today, or you will be missing out. And you'll miss out on Kevin and all the other great speakers that are going to be at Listing Agent Bootcamp this year. So super excited. Kevin, we've got time just for a couple of more quick thoughts from you. One of the things I'd like to know is, what other things are you doing to incentivize your team members to help you with growth and to have their own and to increase their own personal production?
So in terms of growth, I stole this from our buddy Karamian, which is the car idea.
Oh, so you're doing the car.
Yeah. So what we do is we got this from our friends over at Big Block, and I know Mike Bernier and Long Dawn are doing this as well. So basically, any agent that is referred to us by an agent on our team, or really anyone that refers an agent to us, gets their name dropped into a hat. And for every person that's referred, their name gets dropped an additional time. So, and then at the end of the year, we pick a name, and then we give them a free car. We give them a car. We basically lease a car for them, and then they get to have that car, drive it around, have a good time with it, and they get it because they sent us some referrals. So that's one of our fun contests that we're working on right now. And I find with that, it's really about promoting within our team. So you start to have to like do some stuff like team within the team promotion to remind people about those types of contests. But that's been a fun one, and that's one of the ones that we're working on right now.
So let's clarify this. So essentially what you're saying is, each time someone recruits somebody to your team, they get 1 entry into the drawing. Is that what it is?
Right. 1 entry.
Okay. So they get 1 entry into the drawing, and at the end of the year, you draw from those entries and you pick the person that is going to win a leased Mercedes. So you lease a Mercedes for them for what period of time?
2 years.
You're doing a 2-year lease.
Yeah.
Okay. And so at any given time, you've got two people on the juice, right? You've got two cars out there. After your second year, you've always got two cars out there you're leasing for somebody on your team.
Right. So if you think about it, let's say it's $500 a month. So you end up at the most, you're going to be spending $1,000 a month if you've got two people out there. And we have a minimum requirement. So we have to have at least 30 agents that have been recruited to our team in order to be eligible. So to me, I think $1,000 a month is worth having 60 agents that have been brought onto your team that are actually out there producing. So it makes sense in terms of the financials. So, and it's fun, and people get to go promote and have a good time driving a car, and it works out. So that's one way. Another thing that we do is we do a ton of events. So we're providing value, and we're bringing people to these small events, and we're bringing some great speakers to come and share ideas, and so that's worked out really well for us as well. And then again, like using Zoom, utilizing some of the resources and relationships that I've been fortunate enough to make over the years, like with people like you and some of our friends that we know across the country that are super successful, and have them come on to these like 30-minute Zoom calls, and then invite outside people to come and learn. It's really coming from contribution, like you always say, Michael. At the end of the day, it's all about providing value and helping other people succeed.
And speaking of people joining, shout out to Mike Bernier and Mike Bjorkman, who are both watching at this point. So good to see you guys on. That's awesome. And they'll both be at Listing Agent Bootcamp as well. In fact, Mike Bernier is running the broker owner portion of Listing Agent Bootcamp. So we're stoked about that. Let's see. And you're right. Michelle mentions, it sounds like you provide an awesome environment and mindset. Are you hiring LOA? What do you mean, Michelle? Michelle's on one of our expansion teams. You're not looking to go join Kevin's team. What are you talking about? I'm just giving you a hard time.
We're always hiring, Michelle. Give me a call after this webinar.
Don't call him. Don't call him. I love it. That's awesome. Well, Kevin, I appreciate you taking the time to be on with us today. So we're out of time, but before we wrap up, I want you to give us one final tip. One final tip that you feel can help everybody that's watching right now have greater success in 2018 and as a part of hopefully Listing Agent Bootcamp. What
I would say is one of the main reason why I've been able to be fortunate to get to where I'm at, and there's still a long way to go, but is from attending events, from going to events, from learning from other people. So if you're thinking about going to the Listing Agent Bootcamp, take advantage of it. Go to it, okay? There's a lot of great events. This is an awesome event that you can attend. And I'm not just like really, this is not like a sales pitch, really. I mean, this is really the truth. If it wasn't for, these really awesome events, I would have never met the people that I've been able to meet and learn the great things that I've learned. And it's really just through relationships that are created with like-minded individuals that want to learn and want to collaborate. So take advantage of these opportunities and with these great people that are out there. So I'd say, really just get in front of more people and learn from some others that are doing better and that are successful, and try to get out there and learn as much as you can.
I love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Everybody, let's all thank Kevin. If you'd like to see Kevin back, type in more Kevin into the Facebook chat here, and we'll get Kevin on more. But just type that right into the screen there. Type in, we want more Kevin, or something of that nature, and we'll be sure to get Kevin out here some more. And by the way, you're right, Michelle. That is what makes Club Wealth so awesome. One of the biggest things about Club Wealth is the collaboration. It's about all these really smart people coming together to help each other have greater success. And I don't mean to sound arrogant about this or anything, but the fact of the matter is we get the smartest people in Club Wealth, right? I mean, we got the Kevin Markarians and the Mike Bjorkmans and the Brian Curtises and the Shree Benjamins and all these wicked smart people that are just really there to help everybody out. And guess what? What goes around comes around. When you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want over time. You just got to give, and then eventually you'll receive as well. So have an awesome day, everybody. And remember, regardless of how you're feeling in this moment right now, inside you, there's a world-class beast just dying to get out. But you got to choose to unleash that beast. You got to take one step toward greatness right now. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Just take a step, even when it doesn't feel like you can. Go ahead, Kevin.
I have one last thing, and I heard this quote, and it's a really powerful quote, and it has a lot to do with being in the right environment and being in front of great people. And the quote is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
But I heard it and I wanted to share it, and I think it's really relevant to what you just said. So
that's awesome. I love it. Ginger, my dog in the other room, is in the other room. As soon as you said it, she's howling. She's like, yeah, baby. I love it. All right. Sounds great. Kevin, thank you so much for being with us today. And I'm stoked to hear you speak at Listing Agent Bootcamp. It's coming up in just 3 weeks. Remember, guys, 3 tickets left. If you haven't got your ticket yet, you better freaking get it right now or you will miss out, because it is going to be sold out probably today. So anyway, have an awesome day, everybody. We'll chat with you next time. Take care. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.